Hi guys, you're welcome to MJ Apparel tutorial, and today we'll be learning how to pad and sew a princess bustier properly. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like and also share this video. In the previous tutorial, we learned how to draft a perfect princess bustier properly. If you are yet to watch the tutorial, I'll be dropping the link to that tutorial in the description box. Now we'll move into padding the bustier properly. I'll be using the medium wording in this tutorial, that is why I attached to my fabric alone, but if you're using the soft one, you will need to attach it to your fabric and to your lining. The first thing to do is to locate where your wording will be. Here I have my bust point and the under bust. Your wording should be 4 inches above the bust point and 1 inch above the half length. You locate those points and mark. Your wording should start 4 inches above the bust point and stop 1 inch above the half length. I'll just open it up and extend the line. So this is where I'm going to be placing my wording. It will start here and it will end 1 inch before the half length. So I'm just using my chalk to locate the point so that when it comes to cutting the wording, I will know where to place it. And the wording is going to occupy this space. Next, we'll be moving over to the side panel. For the side panel, you can decide to pad it fully, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be doing it halfway. So I'll just locate where I'm going to be padding it this way and mark. So this is where the wording is going to occupy. I'm going to go over to cut my wording and iron it on my fabric. After doing that, I'll come back and show you what the results look like. After ironing it, this is what you have. When placing your wording on your fabric, please take note you are placing it on the wrong side of the fabric. Take note of that. Here we have the center panel and the two sides of the wording. Next thing we are going to be doing is to join the sides to the center panel, and in doing that, you are going to start sewing from the lower part of the bustier. You place the side panel on the center panel, then you start sewing the 0.5 inch or whatever sewing allowance you added. While drafting, you will sew it from the bottom down to where the bustier starts, making sure that the side align to the bustier. When sewing, you keep moving it this way so that after sewing it, you'll be able to achieve the curve on the bust. So you place it like this and start sewing from the lower part. You don't start sewing from the upper part, because if you do that, when sewing you will run short of the fabric. It's best to start sewing from the lower part so that it's going to fit in completely and everything is going to go into the bustier. I'll be going over to the sewing machine to do that, after which I'll come back and show you the final results. After sewing, this is what we have. I sewed the 0.5 inch sewing allowance I added down to this point and there is nothing remaining. This is what the side looked like. I did the same thing for the other part. I sewed the 0.5 inch from the bottom to the top like this, and this is what we have on this part. Next, I'm going to be notching the side so that the seam can lay flat. When notching the side, be careful so that you don't cut your seam while notching. After notching, this is what you have. Next thing you will do is to give it a good press. And in pressing your bustier, what you need to do is to turn it to the wrong side and iron in between the seam. You open up the seam this way and iron in between the seam. And also, when pressing your bustier, you don't iron it on a flat surface. If you do so, you are going to lose the curve. It's advisable to use your tailor's hammer to iron, placing the bustier on it this way, then you iron. With this, you will retain the curves after ironing the bustier. After giving it a good press, this is the outcome. As you can see, we have a perfect curve on this part. Next is to cut the neckline, but before then I did the same thing on my lining. Whatever I did on my fabric, I did same on my lining. Please take note of that. This is the lining and this is the side seam. I'm going to be ironing it and opening the seam in the process. Now we'll be cutting the neck, and in doing that I'm going to be folding the bustier this way, making sure that the sides of the bustier align. You arrange it and make sure that the side align, after which you secure it with your pin so it doesn't shift while cutting. After arranging it, next you draw the neckline. You can draw whatever neckline you want. I'll be drawing a simple round neckline with the width 3.5 and also depth of 3.5. After doing that, I'm going to be connecting the 2 points together. After drawing the neckline, the next thing we're going to be doing is to trim the armhole. Remember, the front and the back armhole is not the same, so we are going to be trimming the armhole, and in doing that you will divide the armhole by 2. The armhole I'm working with is 8 inch, divided by 2 is 4 inch, so I'll measure 4 inch and mark. After marking, you go in by 0.75 inch. Next, you connect this point to the shoulder slope using a straight line, and you connect to the armhole using a slight curve. After redrawing the armhole, this is what the front armhole should look like. Next, we will go over to cutting, but before then we'll be placing the lining underneath the main fabric, and in doing that you fold it the way you folded the main fabric. You arrange it properly, secure it with your pins before cutting. After cutting it out, this is what we have. Here I have my lining and the main fabric. As you can see, the neck is the same. That is the reason why we had to cut it together, to avoid differences. This is what we'll be having after cutting it. This is what yours should also look like. As you can see, the neckline came out very perfect and our bustier came out very well. So if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and also drop a comment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.